Hello there, Paul.
Oh, by the way, I went to get a haircut the other day, and you just took mine, didn't you? I went to get a haircut the other day, and the guy that cut my hair told me to tell you, he has to hold on for an extra 5 seconds for you to be able to
I've put my
hold the football down.
Shelby, he always tells everybody that he has to count to 5.
That's right.
Right.
To hold them down.
Shelby couldn't count that.
I told him, he said, when you tell him that, he's gonna say, I can't count that high, but I'm gonna go, he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I got a big kick out of it.
What is it?
Okay, we're ready to go, aren't we?
We had a hell of a football team. We didn't get any first down, so we didn't worry about it.
He had a guy in his chair,
Maybe drinks more now.
Yeah, but yeah, we didn't know it until about 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
We went to school with her, she's Elvis.
Went to a high school up in Versailles.
Yeah, so trust me,
But he said, didn't know it, and he said, we started talking. Not all of the same.
Matt got back here. He got a job.
Really?
Yeah. Where's he? He's been gone 3.5 years. He he got on with TMC mechanical,
Okay.
and he was running the tool room
I went in and
Well, he could have been
and
there
had
a
different crafts.
Wow.
And this company was looking for him, and they matched his union salary.
Right up. Wow.
So
That's awesome.
Thursday's his last day, so
Wow.
he'll be back here. He'll be 10 minutes from work.
Good. Tell him I say congratulations.
Yeah, I know you talked to David.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where we're getting close.
He's an awesome guy.
He was in the Marines, yeah.
I'm happy for him.
Oh, we're early.
You don't want to blow it. You don't want to blow it now, because we'll blame it on you.
I thought he was older. I thought he was about 85. I really
he looks like
Gentlemen on this end.
Hey, Brian. That guy behind you in the blue.
it's not similar. It's a car slow down.
You have to shake hands, that's part of the deal.
Oh, yeah.
Not from you, though.
He jumped way up. He won week 4 last 6-0.
Sounds like you were hoping for that.
Just kidding. Never. Never.
Just kidding.
Third. He ran a 69.
Because she wants to be by her.
Changed the next pass and
That's her right.
slowed down to 74. But the mile per hour was at like 10 miles per hour.
Calls her.
Blew the motor out at 69 and they just hold it with him. So we probably just didn't have it quite ready. Leaned over like he usually had.
It's like, I'm not really sure. There could be 10 people come out.
Well, yeah.
When I first hear it, I mean, that was.
So
You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, they're gonna throw another funny car out there, huh?
That's great.
Any of the 3 Lawrenceburg people.
I was glad to see,
Right now, it's me
Papa
and Ryan
John's.
Johnson.
Yeah, that's big.
From down here.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not a
Well, that would
Yeah.
be good.
opponent of her.
That would be good.
Big.
No, I know, but at least somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
I wish it could have went somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. I'm afraid some stuff's gonna come out on her.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you hate to have him shy away.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be another.
No, I think he's getting over that.
Oh, boy. Whatever happened to him? Whatever happened to him?
He was at the bracket race up there in Indy here a couple weeks ago, so that's like I'm upset.
I saw Conley's back on Pro Stock, or tuning, or...
Yeah, tuning, yep.
They're doing right now. He said,
He's a good kid. That's who Papa John should have too.
That would have been great.
Sir. Oh, yeah.
that's why I'm being real quiet about it. But he said to the lawyer, you go ask, see if you can get some money. And because they offered $2,000.
That, as soft as that brick is, the best thing is probably the gun knife.
Remember?
Gun knife?
And the other
Gun
thing
knife.
was, we said we would
And cut it in.
pay for that excavation.
And there's supposed to be out of probably, I think there's a
$6,000
Harrison
maybe
Ohio
to
was
map it
contract.
eventually.
Okay.
Let's
I don't
see how
think
much
anybody
money we get.
sprays gun
We
knife around
said
here.
no. Just so you're careful what you say.
Check it up top too, make sure.
Not here tonight. Yeah, I'd start at the roof in the eaves and work my way down, that's for sure.
Copy of
Did
the
he get his contract?
contract
Biggest thing that causes
you
that
got
though
from
is
me, and
actually
it says
the
confidential, I've read it, I'm
Control
satisfied.
temperature for the
You want
inside
it
and
shredded?
outside.
I can, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Believe it or not.
Thanks.
I like it a lot. We went Saturday.
Inside, if they get it insulated, heat and air conditioning in it, that'll help.
Oh, yeah.
2 months ago, we were looking at the firehouse, but you can't afford it. I mean,
Okay.
there's 80 people in there.
Yeah, they're not as hard as like an interior brick as opposed to.
Yes.
You know, the guy.
thank you,
his
fellas.
restaurant does beer and wine. That's all he needs.
Carol and I went over there.
He's trying to.
I'd like to open the August 8th Lawrenceburg Redevelopment Commission meeting. Could we have a roll call, please?
Director Brian Messmore.
Here.
Chairman Mel Davis.
Here.
Vice Chairman Bob Rybolt.
Here.
Secretary Tony Abbott.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour Sr.
Present.
Member Dennis Hutchins.
Present.
And Lawrenceburg School Board Member Patrick Myers.
Here.
And City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Any corrections or additions? Could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any announcements to be made?
Chairman, if it pleases the commission, I just had a couple updates. We had two projects that have basically been completed, and I wanted to update the commission on progress. First is Trinity Dry Cleaners. We had them in twice, and they presented, and the commission voted to help them out with some funds for equipment and a vehicle. That money has been set for distribution to them, and they have already moved forward with the purchase of the vehicle and the accessories with the vehicle. The other update is with Durbin Plaza. We were able to close the real estate transaction with Durbin Plaza last week. We were able to close on the final steps that were required for the property to be marketable to future businesses, which we're very excited about. There was some additional work that had to be done in regard to whether or not there had to be footers exposed and mapped, which are things that should be done for the property. When we met internally, we reviewed the property when it was, the demolition was complete. We were given the opportunity to review that final demolition to decide whether or not that demo was approved by us and acceptable to us. We determined that there was some additional work that needed to be done, and we entered in some further negotiations with DIY, and they agreed to pay for half of the money that it would take to finalize the work. They also agreed to pay for the taxes that were due. I think they came up to about $14,000, and so we were able to close that real estate transaction. We now have ownership of the property, and it is a property that is ready to be marketed, so we're very pleased with that. So I want to update the commission on those two subjects.
Thank you.
I've got a few questions about these things. We'll start them off right away, I guess. On the shopping center.
Okay.
This board met and said we want it mapped. Never said nothing about digging it up. You said you met internally and decided to do that. I don't think that's the proper way to do it. That property belongs to this board, and this board should have made that decision. As far as I'm concerned, you ripped up a good foundation, and it's going to cost us a lot of money now. Well, you just shake your head yes, but,
Well, do you want me to
I
respond to
mean,
that?
yeah, these steps have to be stopped. If it's this board's project, their property, this board makes that decision. You can't meet internally and make a decision, a couple of people.
No,
That's what this board is for.
Sure, and I met internally with the board, and I acted upon the advice and the decisions that have been made going back to last year, and the discussions and meetings that I've had with the board, and
You didn't meet
with,
with this board, nobody here knew none of us knew anything about this foundation getting dug up. Because at our meeting, we said, map it, period. That's all we wanted. And it's gonna cost us $4,000.
sure, and I would disagree with that.
Any board member disagree with that?
Well, I'd like to ask a question, Mr. Chairman. Bill, on our, public should know we had an executive session.
Yes.
And during that meeting, we had talked to you about the possibility of seeing if there was some additional money available before we settled. How did that turn out?
They were very receptive to that. We discussed, the reason we had an executive session is because, going all the way back to the original agreement, the end product that was contemplated wasn't necessarily codified in the way that I would want it to be, kind of looking forward, and of course hindsight is 20/20. But when we got to the end of the project, I think what we realized was the document that kind of contained the desires of the commission, again, going back to the last administration, but the same commission, didn't contain with enough specificity how the property would be left. And so that was kind of open to interpretation, and that's why we had the opportunity to go and view the property
Well,
to see.
that's fine.
Sure.
My second question would be, how much additional money is it going to cost us to do what was done over there in the last?
The final demolition that was required to expose the footage to 3 feet and to map those was approximately $34,000, and DIY paid half, and so half of that money is kept in escrow upon completion or
Have those funds been
receipts.
released yet to the 425,000?
Except for 17,000, which is half of
Okay.
finishing the project, and 14,000, which were all of the taxes that were due. And so at closing, we withheld those funds from the 425,000 that we had left in escrow. So the 14 was paid immediately to taxes, the 17 is still held
So it's
in
costing
escrow.
us in reality an additional 17,
Yes.
ballpark. I mean,
Yes.
roughly, because they're eating half of it.
Right, and that's an exact figure, and that should appear in the form of a claim to
Well,
be reviewed.
I would like to go on the record, Kelly down there, if you don't mind, that in the future, when something like this comes, I mean, the work's done.
Sure.
But in the future, I would like the board to go into session before any money is spent. And 17,000 isn't the end of the world, but it all adds up.
It does, and, when I thought about it, and, having this discussion, I think, is very valid. What I attempted to do was to enact the desire of this commission based on the meeting that we had in executive session, and going back and reviewing all of the discussions that were had and the votes that were made to approve the original agreement. The way I viewed it was that my duty was to finalize the original agreement. But your point is very valid, and Mr. Abbott, your point is valid as well. My decision that was made, I viewed as purely a legal decision to finalize the original agreement. But, I don't have a problem with that, and in the future, I think that we could, instead of discussing an executive session, we could then discuss it at a public meeting as well.
I got a question for Mario.
Yes, sir.
Mario, can you explain to me exactly what was done there?
There was a grade beams and a perimeter footing that was still in place with pile caps. What the contractor actually did was remove all the grade beams, chip down on the pile caps approximately 3 to 4 foot. We documented the placement of the pile caps. We had a soil engineer come in to take some samples. We don't have the sample reports back yet, but it wasn't sound enough to build on top any new structures.
Well, how much did you take off? 3 feet? And
Correct.
it was all cement?
Correct. curtain walls, which is the grade beams, were approximately 2.5 to 3 foot that sit on top of pier caps.
Okay.
I have another question. To do this work, was there one quote done, 2 quotes, 3 quotes?
There were 2 quotes. There's a quote done for the additional demolition, and then another quote done for the survey.
Well, see, there's another thing, Dale, that was taken out of this board's hand. If there's 2 quotes, this board should have seen those quotes and decided which one to take.
And I presented those quotes at the executive session.
No, you did not present any quotes to tear out the foundation.
I did.
No.
I did.
We were given a guesstimate of $40,000 in our executive session.
It wasn't a guesstimate. I gave the exact quote from Howard.
There was no 2 quotes.
Yeah.
And when you show a quote, when you give a quote, it shows the work to be done. And we've never seen nothing like that.
I gave the exact quote for the demo from Howard, which is the same quote.
Okay, that's one.
And then I gave an estimated quote from the survey company of $1,200, and it ended up being $900.
But was there not a second quote to do the same thing Howard did to tear the foundation up?
No. It was the only quote that was ever presented or obtained was presented to you guys at the
But
executive session.
then shouldn't there have been 3 quotes for that work?
No.
We
We always
took,
go out for quotes.
we took the existing contractor, since he knew where the footings and grade beams were at.
Everybody knew where they were at. They were showing.
No, they all weren't showing, Tony.
I looked around it. I could find it.
Well, the most important thing is
But still, you can still get 2 more quotes. Things are being done without the board's permission, guys. I don't care how you go about it or how you sugarcoat, candy coat, or whatever. It's being done
Well,
without the
don't
board's.
accuse me of sugarcoating or candy coating anything, Tony.
Then why didn't you go out for 2 quotes? We always try to go out for 3 quotes.
First of all, I'm directed by this staff, this board.
I have a comment. Tony, I
Go ahead,
understand.
Mr. Hutchins.
I understand where you're coming from, but this board, you're the only member of this board, and this isn't directed at you in any accusation, but you're the only member that sat on the previous board to where we had a real mess with that lot based on a whole set of circumstances. And
Absolutely.
lawsuits and all kinds of stuff, and accommodations were made and everything else. If we have to settle this for $17,000 to get it all of last year and all of the Dollar General issues, and I know I'm painting a big picture, but if $17 settles it and our lawyer and our chairman are under the clear understanding, and it's on the record, that in the future, I mean, anything that we go forward with, we would like to absolutely be consulted about.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get here, Dennis. I want
But I
proper
think that's-
procedure. I want proper procedure to be followed.
Well, I think we're
And the
there,
proper
Tony.
procedure has not been followed.
Well, I think it was a complicated negotiation last year that you guys were in, because I sat on the audience side of this for almost every one of those meetings.
That doesn't have anything to do with now, Dennis, because at our last meeting with this, we sat here and we said we want it mapped. We didn't want nothing else done. We didn't, because as far as we knew, what the engineer said when we bought that property, he said that foundation was in perfect shape and it could be built upon again.
That's not what he said.
Okay.
No, he said it was structurally sound, is what he said.
Structurally sound sounds pretty good to be built on again, especially if it's going to be a metal frame building not supporting that much weight. And now whoever buys this property has to go in and do more work to get a foundation in there.
Well, I will agree with Mr. Abbott. We did say we were willing to map it.
That's it. We were going to map it, period. And now, next thing you know, it's being dug up and destroyed without our permission. The ones who basically own that property and say what gets done with it. You guys skipped us. And that's what I want the proper procedure followed from now on.
Well, technically, at the time, you didn't own the property.
Second
of all,
redevelopment.
no. Second of all, again, I take my orders from this gentleman and that gentleman there.
That's fine. That's fine. And just,
Well, Mario,
Whoever.
we do own the property. We paid for it.
You didn't own it at the time, Dennis.
But we do
we
now.
paid half
Yes.
of it. It was in our name.
Not at,
No, we own
you
it
just,
now.
you just closed last week on the property.
And just to be clear, I made the decision by myself.
Well, you shouldn't be making that decision,
Well,
Dale. It's
and
this
I'm-
board's decision to
Well,
make.
Mr. Abbott, I'm explaining why I made the decision. I made the decision because I thought it was carrying out your request and your desire.
If you
My
thought
jo-
that, then
well,
why
my
didn't
job-
you do it? Why didn't you get it mapped and not tore up?
Because my belief after we had executive session is that you had authorized me
Map
to
it.
not map it, to go down and grade and to finalize the demolition. So my job is to listen to the input from the redevelopment commission and act upon that to make sure that your desires are carried out. And I try to do that the best I can. In this scenario, that's exactly what I did. And I made the decision because it was a legal matter. It was finalizing a settlement of a lawsuit going back last year.
But you should have come to this board, Dale.
Well, I'm telling you.
If you're spending more, if you're spending more of our budgeted money, which we have to okay, which it should be in here for us to okay it. Is it? It's not in there yet. Be in next month's, I guess.
Well, and I'm telling you that I did. It was an executive session, and I had this discussion.
And that's what I'm trying to
I was under the
discuss now.
impression that we were all on the same page.
I'm trying to discuss that now. I want proper procedure
Well,
followed.
I think that the last document was a legal document. We were under litigation, I believe.
Yes.
If the last document was legal and we were under litigation, I think we're obligated legally to follow the last document. Now, what I'm going to suggest that when we do something like that again, is that we make everything very explicit. I read the last document. I didn't know if they were supposed to blow it up or leave it, to be honest with you. I'm serious. If you read that, it's kind of a mess.
I agree with you, Mel.
And I sat out there during the discussion, still didn't know what was going on. I knew we were trying to buy the property. But I think that when we get into a situation like this again, buy a building and remove it, I think the document, whatever that might be, has to be explicit, and then everybody understands what the heck's going on, you know. I'm not an attorney, but I've been around attorneys a lot, and a good attorney could have taken that document and turned it this way, and we still wouldn't have known what was going on, except some judge would have said, Lawrenceburg, you lose.
But our attorney should say, I need to call the board together and let them make a decision, because it's our decision.
Okay, but
It's not our attorneys.
He apologized, and he said it won't happen again. So I think,
That's what I'm talking about, proper procedure. That's all I want from now on.
Okay.
Now we can move on to the next one. And the next one is the truck for Trinity.
Sir, before you move on.
Go ahead.
Tony, can I show you some photos of those foundations and the square walls?
I walked around them, Mario. I mean, that's fine.
As you see, they're full of brick and cinders.
Well, that was from the building being demolished. The foundation was there,
This is-
complete
this is-
cement.
This is the bottom of it. You probably didn't see it if it was still in the ground.
I seen the pillars that would come up to go down into the ground, what I call a floating foundation, and they were all in good shape.
No.
They were. This is after beating on the thing, man.
No, this is brick. Brick and
that's
cinders.
brick.
This is rebar that's laying at the bottom
Okay.
of that
But
foundation.
Mario, that foundation had not sank half an inch in all these years, and it was structurally sound. You said it was structurally sound. That could have been built on. That could have saved the
we
next buyer.
have an engineer's-
Could have been saved. It could have saved the buyer money now.
We have an engineer's report.
But we didn't know that. It could have been, could not have been. But when we sold it,
Well, again,
then we could have made a decision then.
took soil samples underneath those foundations. We have an engineer's report.
Okay. Well, it's over.
move on to the next.
Okay, the second thing that we did was Trinity Cleaners. We voted to buy a van. We said we were not going to pay to wallpaper it. We paid to wallpaper it. Can I ask why that was done?
May I, Your Honor?
You're talking about a wrap, not a wallpaper.
Well, they call it wallpaper wrap, whatever you want to call it.
And I can respond to that too, and it's the same issue, and Chairman Davis brings up the point that is really the most important thing. Again, my only guidance is to attend the meetings, listen very carefully to the discussion, review the minutes of all the meetings pertaining to a particular issue, and then, again, do my best to execute the desire of the board. In regard to Durban Plaza, Chairman Davis is exactly right. My only option was to go back and look at the original document, which wasn't clear. There are certain legal issues that we can't discuss in a public meeting. That's why we had an executive session. I don't want to get into that, other than to say that, in my mind, it was a purely illegal decision. But that was based on, again, attending the meetings, doing my best to execute the desire of the board. Same with Trinity Cleaners. I was at the meeting, 2 meetings, in fact, where she presented, and the discussion or the presentation was itemized, but the final vote was for $30,000 for the van. It wasn't itemized $30,000, but specifically no wrap. I know that was part of the discussion, but again, after the meeting, I have to go back, I have to draw up the documents and draft a legal agreement with Trinity Cleaners. My interpretation of the meeting was that it was $30,000 for a vehicle. She was able to negotiate the vehicle and the wrap and the accessories. You know, the wrap is part of the vehicle, or goes around the vehicle, as well as racks and things inside the vehicle. She got whatever she got for $30,000 or less. So my impression was that that was the desire of the board, to cap her money for the van at $30,000, and that's what she did.
Well, that's not the desire of the board. The desire of the board was not to pay for the wrap, because that is considered advertising. We didn't think that was what we should be doing. You interpreted, again, maybe you need to ask the board, Dale. You can't just make these decisions yourself, because we said we were not paying for it, and we were given the price of a van for $30,000. Why would we get a quote for $30,000 from her, and then all of a sudden it's $25,000?
And I don't make any decisions. I'm not a board member.
You made a decision to pay for that wrap. Apparently somebody did.
That's untrue. I executed what I interpreted to be the desire of the board and the commission after 2 meetings, discussion, and a vote.
Then if we sit here and say we're not paying for it because it's like advertising, then how can you interpret that to go ahead and pay for it?
Well, I mean, you guys have to determine whether or not to pay claims, and it comes up for review. We structured it so it'd come up for
It's on
review.
claims right now, or it was, or should be, and it's already been paid.
The discussion that was made included what to pay for. And you're right, you discussed the wrap in terms of how much should be paid for the van. I was here, I took copious notes, and my interpretation was that it was $30,000 for the van, and whatever she could get in terms of accessories for the van, as long as it was less than $30,000, then that's what she should be paid. Again, I don't make any decisions. You know, I'm here to make sure that your will is executed and everyone's will is executed. And if there should be a much more specific or detailed agreement, then you've got to tell me that at the meeting, so that I can say specifically, okay, no wrap, no spare tire, whatever you want it to be. It can be anything you like.
That's your job here at this meeting while we're here in a meeting, not afterwards to interpret what it is.
Well, but I have to.
We should have interpreted by anybody here, anybody who was in that audience, when we left that meeting, we were not paying for no wrap.
And I don't agree with that. I try very hard to do exactly what the commission votes. If I made a mistake, then I apologize, but I disagree with that.
Well, can I say something, Mr. Chairman? Sure. Part of the problem is, I remember the conversation about a wrap. My problem is, I don't remember if it was before or after the vote or anything else, but I do know this. In the future, we should include in the motion anything that we don't want in there.
Anything that's excluded.
So if we're specific, then it has to be that way, correct?
Yeah.
So I would recommend that we all be very specific, and Del, I would hope that you keep us that way. How's
Yes,
that?
sir. I appreciate that.
Fair enough. As far as the $3,500 for the wrap, I think that's kind of water that's over the top of the dam now, and we can talk about it all night, but let's just fix it for the future.
That's what I'm trying to do, so the water doesn't
We
get
just
to the
did that,
top of the
Tom.
dam again.
We
next
just did
month.
that. Fair enough? Okay.
One other thing I'd like to bring up in doing this, I think we're going to do something with checks, maybe make them 2-party checks or something. Because we made one check out to Trinity Cleaners for $25,000 to them. If that was going towards the truck, then it should be made out to Trinity Cleaners, Hag Ford.
Okay. I don't know about that. I can look into it.
That's fine.
All right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's for anything from now on. And making two-party checks to whoever's going for the grant. And when we decide to give somebody money, we need solid costs, because we were told that van cost $30,000, and all of a sudden, it's only $25,000. Now, how do we know about the machinery? The machinery was bought used, wasn't it?
I have a spreadsheet.
I don't remember.
I remember them saying it was bought used, so we need to make them two parties.
I don't know if it was used or an older model, to be honest.
Feel like you want to say that, you could.
And we have protections, Mr. Ad. We've specifically decided that we want to maintain control locally over these grant agreements even after the fact, in the sense that we don't just give all the money up front. They have to come back, they have to produce receipts. We're not having third parties like Main Street administer these agreements. So, and the entire purpose of having checks and balances like that is so that we can make sure that everything is specifically carried out according to the desire of the commission. And that's my job. If I didn't do that in these two instances, then I apologize, but that was my intent. Again, I don't make any decisions. I'm just here to make sure that your decisions are carried out.
Okay, well, I have to disagree with that. I mean, it's beating an old horse now, but I got to disagree. Our intentions were not carried out in neither instance.
Del, there's a document that Kelly provided us. That's a breakdown of the money. It wasn't 30,000, it was 29 and change. But she specifically had receipts for everything on there
that's
before we
good.
cut a check. We did not cut a check, Kelly, correct, for $30,000 and give it to her.
No, we did
had
cut a
it
check.
balanced
We did
off.
cut a check for $25,000 and give it to her.
After she gave me the hack forward
Right.
quote, and
But
then
she had the receipt in her hand.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying we should make it two-party checks from now on.
Well, there was a check and balance on this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Okay, let's move along. Financial report?
As of August 1st, 2016, the balance for Redevelopment Commission is $2,618,637.37.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like it noted in the record that the real balance is $1,339,237.26. And the reason for that is the balance, the difference in that is money we have promised to other projects. So in reality,
It's already encumbered.
well, I'm just saying, the audience needs to know we have 1.33, not $3 million or whatever.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to ask your indulgence that we change the agenda a little bit and move Mary Jo Schuld to first. She has a commitment that she has to make.
On that too, it says on Martin Luther King Drive, she is wanting the property at 215,
It's- the address
217
is-
East Center.
I was getting to that. It's 316 Center.
316? It should be two addresses. There's a double house.
Tony, that's a guess on the address, I think,
Yeah.
right now.
It's 3-something Center.
It's next to Booney, I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, it would be two addresses.
What is it?
There were two houses on it.
I'm sorry,
Two
I
apartments.
have a problem hearing, and I haven't heard clearly anything that's been going on.
Well, you're up.
Because you're not using the microphones. So, and now that I'm involved.
You're up to bat.
I'd appreciate
Yeah.
speaking up and using them, please.
Before you say anything about this, I just want you guys to know where the property is at. It's next to Booney across the alley, which is now a parking lot.
Who?
Booney, Brooksy,
Somebody wants to build a house next to
she wants to build next to Booney.
Well, somebody did earlier.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's just a grass lot right now, but we would like to buy it. It has not been advertised yet, but this is my grandmother, for those of you who don't know. I'm AJ Waltz, and my grandmother, Jo Schuld, would like to build a house down here after I moved down here last year with Paul Seymour building a house for me. So we would like to buy that lot. It has not been advertised yet, so I don't know what your procedure is to make that official and make that happen, but that's what
Well, what we have to do is request that Mr. Messmore make sure we have an appraisal.
We can't find,
And then
we can't
request
find
that
any
Mr.
record that it
Messmer
has been.
advertise it.
I thought we
You have
advertised
the
it when they were
appraisal,
trying to
don't
We
build.
have appraisals.
Okay.
We have appraisals, no advertising.
All we have to do is request that he advertise the lot,
Yeah.
and I think it has to run
appraisal
2 or
is
3 editions, I believe. And then after that, we ask for bids, or the advertisement will ask for bids. And the bids will come in, if any, and we can open the bids. And if it matches the price, then whoever bid that will receive the property. If it doesn't,
Doesn't, can you accept it?
then it has to be resubmitted. And whoever is the highest bidder on the resubmittal will receive the property after they pay us.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
So tonight, what we're requesting is permission from the board to do the advertisements. And then, you know, we can go over with AJ and Mary Jo all the details of the process.
You have to speak up.
Yeah. I heard him.
I'd like to make a motion to go out for advertisements for the East Center Street property, address to be known
It's
later.
3 something, whatever it is. Okay. Have a motion, we have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Well, before they leave the podium, we've had a couple of people come to the podium that have wanted to buy a lot, and it had to be advertised. And then if they came back, if there was nobody that wanted to buy it,
Yeah.
her problem is, she's sold her house in Harrison, and she wants to get started on building somewhere. If it's not there, somewhere. She wants to be there. So at the next meeting, is it possible, if no one comes in with a bid, she could then put a bid in on it, and we could vote on it?
Do we have to wait 30 days, Dale?
We have to, it takes that long to advertise, because you gotta.
No, after the advertising. After it's done advertising, do we have to wait another 30 days to accept a lower price?
Yeah, we can go right into negotiating if no one's,
We did that for one of the utility guys.
Right after the
2
bids
months
are
ago.
open, we can do that then?
well, after we advertise it, we have a 30-day period for the bids to come
Right,
in.
right.
So that's why it takes so long, because.
So the bids come in, nobody buys it for the advertised price, we can go ahead and sell it to her for whatever.
Well, she can make an offer.
She can make an offer.
Yeah, at that time, all right, make an offer.
Yep.
So
All right.
hopefully, we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Kelly, did you get a
Ryan,
motion
good?
for that?
322 Short Street?
Good evening. Y'all should have received a request from me that I submitted to Brian about purchasing the lot on 322 Short Street.
Excuse me, who are you?
I'm Ryan Good.
Okay,
Yeah. So-
Yeah, there are, located at 322 Short Street are 2 lots. We have 2 gentlemen here tonight who would like each to purchase one of those lots. So before you tonight, you have 2 people requesting the same thing for 2 separate lots. However, it's deeded as 1 lot, so as part of this process, I would ask your permission to have that surveyed and deeded as 2 lots, 2 equal size lots, side by side, 322 and then 322 and a half Street.
Got a motion for that, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
So immediately following Mr. Good's presentation, Mr. Seaman will be presenting for the remaining lot.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we separate the address into 2 lots, so we can proceed with both of these potential buyers.
Motion, I need a second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
All right. Yeah, so we're looking at building the house at least 1,500 square feet. The plan we're looking at right now is about 1,600. It'll have a walkout basement on that hillside there, and my family and I have 2 kids. And my wife plan on living there and making that our home, downtown Lawrenceburg.
When would you be starting if you get the lots soon?
Probably early March.
Okay. When when you say early March, are you talking about breaking ground or
Yeah,
excavation?
yeah, just, yeah.
To be consistent, we would approach this as we have in the last two lot sale, that we would, begin construction within 6 months complete, I believe. There's a year minus a winter and bad weather sort of thing, but.
Well, he's 8 months out already, Brian, on this, so.
And it'll be,
within a year, he's okay, right?
it'll be a month at least before we get the survey done and closing scheduled and all those sorts of things. So if you're okay with things, when you get a vote to approve, and then, we'll get the process started.
I have one other question before we do that. If we separate these lots, do we have to then go out and have them advertised another 30 days separately? So that's going to...
They have been advertised, or it has been advertised.
Advertised. When we
That's one lot,
separate it,
yeah.
it's going to be 2 lots. Do we have to re-advertise?
Yes.
So that's another 30 days onto it also.
Well, that's not going to hurt them, though, because they're not going to start till March. I don't know, Perry hasn't come up here yet, so we'll hear from him when he comes up here, but as far as you're concerned, we're okay.
Okay.
Right? No.
Who's building it?
It's a friend of mine from Jennings County, West
Do
Bradshaw.
we see any problems with water lines and all that other stuff that seems like we've run into a
But
past?
what I've talked with Brian, we haven't, but.
That should be on our list.
It's on your list.
Say our utility director got us a nice list of water lines and sewer lines to every piece of property we own, and what we have to do to get it to them.
So just to recap, remember, I said to remember you're dealing with
Right.
government, and so set your expectations accordingly. The fact that this lot would have to be re-advertised is something that I never contemplated. Maybe for tonight, I think we're probably done, other than acknowledging that, you've been here, and we, under normal circumstances would have probably said okay, and we would have been on your way. But the fact that we have to advertise that means that you're going to probably have to come back and reintroduce yourself just to formalize this after the advertisement, assuming we don't have somebody offer us full value for that lot. Is that fair?
So he would hold off on his offer
Yeah.
tonight until we get them separated, right?
Yeah.
We have to separate it, that has to be recorded, then we have to advertise.
Right, I understand. That's good.
Well, I got one other thing. I thought that was going to be taken care of by our utility director, but as far as he knew, it was 1 lot. So how much will it be, Olin, if we do 2 lots?
He's got them both
Same
on.
price? I don't see it, all I see is 322.
Below it are lot 21 and lot 22.
I've got it broke down into lots 21 and 22.
What's on here, Tony?
On the spreadsheet.
Okay, I must be looking at the wrong one. I just see 322 Short Street.
Yeah, 322
Okay, so
Short
it's on
Street.
there, so you'll know how much that's going to cost. You can take that in consideration.
Yep.
I need a motion to
Advertise.
move ahead with the procedure.
So moved.
Okay, let's outline the procedure.
Thank you.
We've already voted to have it split. Now we're voting to have it advertised.
The lot has
2
to be,
lots.
I'd like to include in the motion, the lot has to be split, recorded, then both lots or 1 lot be re-advertised.
And I think that's how it has to go, but I don't know. I mean, if there's a faster way to do it, I'd like
Try to
to,
figure
but
it
I don't
out.
know how you could, really.
Well, I'll put in a motion to go out and advertise for 321 and 322 Short Street.
We gotta pay to resurvey it too, right?
Yes.
Pay to resurvey.
That's a couple thousand.
Yes.
Your Honor, this lot as it stands, 322 Short, was approved for sale?
Yes.
If he went through with the sale, he could then split it himself, couldn't he, outside of the city's involvement?
You could, that would be because it's already been appraised as 1 lot. He could do that, I mean.
Mr. Seaman, you guys good buddies? Price might go up if he gets it.
Mr. Good, could you come back up here, please?
Well, the only thing that opens up before we go any further, Del, is it opens up the possibility that, from a collusion standpoint, if someone else wanted to come along and bid on it, they would be precluded from doing that.
Well, it would still be open, if we did it that way, and maybe that's what everyone was kind of thinking of. If we did it that way, then the whole lot would just be opened up. Both these guys could bid on it hypothetically, or a third party.
Okay.
And then it would go to whomever the highest bidder is. And since it's already appraised, we could go ahead and advertise it. And let's say Mr. Seaman buys it, he's the highest bidder, then as private citizens, they could divide it up themselves and kind of cut the government out of a step. And that would be much faster than resurveying it.
So there aren't any, like, deed restrictions
For everyone,
There would be there may be a large difference in the price of the lot too when we let them handle it.
Yeah, they can.
I mean, they're gonna negotiate a price for the second lot,
Sure.
and we're at,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they can do it however they want, so sure.
think
you're
you'd
right.
sell a lot for $1.
I think I would.
You'll have to pay for the survey though, and that's probably what,
Did we get a second on that?
2,000?
No,
I think they're
no.
figuring out I think they're figuring out how they want to do it.
All right.
We approved. They would probably split that total.
Your Honor, if I may, propose a vote, could we put in front of the commission a vote to either advertise as one lot for sale based on further discussions between Mr. Messmore, Mr. Seaman, and Mr. Good, or the alternative, if it's desired that it be split up into 2 lots, ask for approval for the resurveying and then advertising, and appraisal and advertising, so both.
Well, again, I hate to play devil's advocate, but what if we do that, and then somebody else comes in and wants to buy that lot because they know they can buy that whole lot, and then these guys get cut out of a house?
Whoever buys the lot, maybe they want to build a house.
Well, we have 2 people that want to build a home on that lot.
Understand.
That's 2 families.
I understand.
I mean, I like that. Personally, I like it.
Chance, to speed it up, that's a chance you take.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Hutchins, to answer your question, if we do resurvey it and split it into 2 lots, we have to appraise and advertise also, and a third party could buy
Could we
those
ask
lots,
these 2
too.
parties if they're willing to do that?
Yeah, can I ask you guys, are you guys friends, related, or
We met
know each other? Oh, okay, so there's not a whole lot of trust built up there. That kind of shoots that.
Perry down there. Perry's all right. We know him. We know Perry.
Is there a chance that these 2 could buy the lot together, work with Mr. Mesmore with the deal to split it?
Are there restrictions in the deed from, like, because what keeps me from just getting that lot and just selling it to someone next week?
No, you'll get a quick claim deed. You'll be able to do whatever you like with it.
Like, bang.
Okay.
But if they did their proposal together to buy this lot, they would go to both of them, and then they could split it themselves.
Cost a couple $100 max to quick get it, if that.
I think the concern, Mr. Hutchins, that you have is present in both scenarios. Because we have to advertise it publicly, a third
Right.
party could hypothetically buy the lots, whether they're divided or one.
Right.
So,
It's gone round and about, and I'm lost now.
You know, guys, I guess what it comes down to is Mr. Good, he's willing to wait. And we haven't heard from Perry back there, if he's willing to wait a little while. That we probably should do this thing
Mr. Seaman,
the
could you
right
come
way.
up?
I mean,
Yeah, whatever the most transparent and
I think
way
we
you
need to
should
do it the
like,
right
I might be
way.
more
I
comfortable
really
with
do.
that
I
instead of,
just,
This guy had some scam to get his
believe
house
we
built.
should.
Mr. Seaman, stand next to your newest best buddy.
There's gonna be a problem.
right, we need to do it. We need to do it the right way is my feeling on this. And I think Paul agrees with me.
Yeah, so what we're,
okay.
if we get a motion, what we're proposing is that we split it, get it reappraised, and both lots be re-advertised. Okay?
I think we're going to be right where we are.
How long will it take
Timeframe?
to get it appraised? We might be able to get that done in a couple weeks. Couple weeks? I mean, we'd have to.
Brian just didn't realize that he needed to separate them, and that's...
Well, I knew I needed to separate them. I had not contemplated the whole advertisement thing.
Okay. All right.
So how many? But I did try to set the expectations accordingly. How much time are we talking after we get them separated and then appraised? 2 months? 60 days? Probably.
2 months.
So yeah. You guys willing to wait 60 days before you actually get your property? You can make all the
Well, I
plans you
think-
want for it.
You know, rather than being too concerned about how long they have to wait, I think we have to do it the right way.
Absolutely.
This is doing it the right way.
So we don't get in trouble with somebody else out here.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. As long as I'm sitting in this chair, I don't want to do that.
I agree.
I'm fine with waiting the period, do it the right way, and
That'd be 60 days if we get on it right now.
I understand what could
Well,
happen
before-
between now and then, too.
Before you go anyplace, I mean, I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you're self-financing or not, but if you're not, the redevelopment will require a financial letter of intent from your bank or whoever your financing situation is. That's been customary on these lots, and I didn't know if you were aware of that or not.
I was not.
So, it's a matter of going to your bank and, and you can certainly call Brian and get information, but I think that's been pretty much mandatory.
Well, the 60 days will give them some time to work with Mr. Mesmore on the conditions, because I'm sure you want to come back for the grants that are available from the city. And, for the conditions for that and everything else, you can work with Mr. Mesmore, and you can have it all ready for us when you come back, and we can sell it to you, and you can start.
All right.
Are you aware of the grant program that we have?
Thank you.
Okay, just asking.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to ask for a motion that we split this lot,
We already have that.
the two lots, record it, get both lots appraised, and then re-advertise both lots.
We already have a motion, we already had the motion to
do
split
that?
it and survey, so that one's done. We got a
Okay.
first and second.
I need
now.
a second.
No, it's already been done.
Now we need a new
I was
motion
gonna
for
say
the
the same thing
second part
Kelly's
of what you
saying.
just
You already have
said.
a motion.
Okay.
You have a second.
What's the addresses, 322 and
make a motion.
321?
322,
No,
I think.
that's,
Well, it'll be 322 and 321, right? I think it's already, wasn't it already on there?
Those are lot numbers.
Okay, so well,
we need a new motion.
is 322 the house address?
Say the
We need a
number
new
of
motion, Mel.
lots
Let's not worry about the
associated with-
address right now.
All right, if the lot it's associated with, I'm going to say lots. Okay?
Let's not worry about the address.
You have
Somebody
to have the
else,
address for it.
somebody else will figure that out. That's not our
I
job.
want to make a motion to go out and advertise for lots at 321 lot and 322 lot on Short Street. Short. Don't you get us all mixed up again?
Okay, the motion, okay.
Kelly,
Does the motion include getting the lot split?
we've already done that, Mel.
Made a motion,
Okay.
that one went through
So
a while ago.
we're going to advertise two lots,
Yes.
okay? I need a second.
And then we need.
Second.
He made a motion. Now I need a second on the second motion.
Second.
All in favor of the first motion?
Aye.
Any opposed?
What?
All in favor of the second motion?
Aye.
No, we already did the first motion. Total.
It's okay.
We
just
didn't
need
vote
it.
on it.
Aye.
Okay, we didn't vote on it. Both motions
Yes,
moved,
they're all aye.
seconded, and passed.
And I make a motion that Joe not put the last 10 minutes in the newspaper, please.
I second I second that.
That's better than not at all.
That's okay.
Just say something, Joe, if you can help us. And
I second Dennis's motion.
Your Honor, I think we need a motion to appraise as well. We didn't include appraisal.
Included in the second one.
No, you ended up.
To be clear.
We didn't put it in the
Be
second.
clear.
I'll make a motion to appraise lot 321 and lot 322 Short Street.
You know, I hate to say this, but there's no lot 321.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot, there's no house residence.
Not yet.
It's on there, lot
across the
21. That's the lot.
That's the lot 21. You're saying
The opposite side of the
address.
street.
Oh, it's 21, not 321?
It says lot 21 and lot 22.
Oh, great. All right, so I'll make a motion to appraise lot 21 and 22. It should be,
You up with it, Mel?
Yeah, I think. Is there a second?
Your Honor, whatever the numbers are, they've got to be even numbered. 21
Right.
would be
Yeah.
opposite side of the street.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's not our ballgame, that's somebody else's.
That's
He
the
just
post
giving-
office's
He's just
ballgame.
saying lot numbers.
They-
Yeah.
They got plenty to pick from.
Okay, we
322,
have a,
332.
have a motion, we need a second.
I say.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So basically, come back and say.
All right.
Motion Joe didn't print this in the last
We're not done for this night yet.
Smud, thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
See you in 60
Guys, don't
days.
come back, we'll call you.
Yeah. See you in 60 days, guys.
Okay, Rhonda Jefferson,
Do you want to come up here?
I hope you don't want a lot split.
I feel like I'm easy compared to just listening to all that. I'm Rhonda Jefferson, and I'm the owner of Fancy Pets, and I'm in with a framery, and that building, of course, is going to be, I'm assuming, tore down soon. So that, I just want to see a little breakdown of.
Thank you.
Say you're in with the framework?
I'm in the same building
Oh,
right next to
currently,
Yeah,
currently.
currently.
Okay, got it.
For a little bit, I think, here.
I got you.
I don't know how long it's going to be.
The old Ivy Tech building, the curve where it goes into Greendale. That's
This was just a proposal with the intention that I find a new location. I've got a couple on the back burner, but nothing completely confirmed.
Well, Ms. Jefferson,
Yes.
I would recommend that once you get a location, then you come back with a real hard proposal.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's what I was
But that
planning on doing.
that location has to be downtown?
Yes. Okay?
Right, within the city limits, right?
No, it has to be downtown.
Downtown?
Yeah.
Okay. It can't be like in Tony Conley's,
And like where?
by the...
Industrial Park?
Yeah, Industrial Park.
That's up to this board.
Are we saying that because of what we said to the framery?
Yes.
Okay.
We're forcing her to move downtown.
The framery, in order to get our funding for the things that she asked for, we gave her some of those things. We requested that she move her business downtown. And I think we did that for a lot of reasons, to help the downtown, but I don't know if that was a rule that we have to have for everything. I guess so. I mean, I don't know.
This is downtown redevelopment.
I'm just pushing kind of for the Lawrenceburg area because I've been there 10 years at that same location, and I have over 200 clients, and most of them are Lawrenceburg or Greendale. About half of them are. So I don't want to go very far because I'm afraid that I might lose some of them. I mean, I'm very well established.
Have you looked for a location downtown?
Yeah, I've been looking. I've got a few that I was kind of looking at, but one of them was in Tony Conley's, the business park there.
We understand your concerns, but you're asking for money, so you have to understand our concerns.
Oh,
also.
yeah. Yeah, that's basically why I'm here, is to find out, kind of what your stipulations are. That way I know where to look.
Okay.
All I'm asking is that you try to locate downtown,
Yeah.
and if you can't, it's up to the board.
Okay. Maybe come back with an actual address and
That'd help.
where I'm actually going.
And, you have on
With
here,
particulars about the address.
you have on here venting and air conditioning, drywall flooring. Wherever you move to, you might not need that once you find out exactly where you're moving.
Yeah, well, the venting is like it's a self, it's a self-unit, so they wouldn't have that. It's actually for a dog grooming salon.
Well, I mean, whatever you need, you'll know exactly what
Yeah,
you need.
yeah, I will.
Okay? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The I'd like to address the board for a second. The next order of business, I am going to recuse myself and ask Mr. Rybold to handle that, please.
Get him, big guy.
Pizza business right down my alley. Kind of new on this one where he threw it to me. So, Christian, you want to come up?
You ready for this roller coaster ride?
I'm having a heck of a time back there, just paying attention and keeping up. I just make pizza, that's what I do.
Do yourself a favor, tonight don't try.
Yeah, I'm a pizza guy, so this is all new to me. But anyway, I see some familiar faces, so I've seen a few of you in my restaurants. We're Strong's Brick Oven Pizzeria. We have one in Newport and one in Hebron. My partner's Mindy Strong and Amanda Knight on this new location that we're doing. We're putting a new location right down here at 1 East High Street, where the River City Tap is. It was kind of a rush job. We weren't planning on our third location yet. Had some people mentioning the Lawrenceburg area to us. My parents have lived in Sunman for over 20 years, so I drive through here quite often. And stumbled into the location, and to be honest with you, we love the area so much, it was like, we're not going to turn it down. I mean, we weren't ready to do a new one yet, but we can make it happen with no problem at all. Our first location's been open for 4.5 years. Our second one's been open for about a year and a half. I'd say we have roughly 38 employees between the two stores. We are a family-run business, so my daughters who just graduated from Moorhead, they run my Hebron store right now. My mother serves during the day. My 10-year-old daughter works mobile trailer events with us. So everywhere you go, it's all family event. And what we've been looking for, which, you know, when I started this whole thing, I was a La Rosa's guy for 15 years. My wife was La Rosa's 15 years. We said, let's go make some real pizza. And when we threw it all together, we just wanted something little. You know, we wanted a little 2-3 tables and a delivery. And it kind of blew up. We were very, very lucky with the way people responded to us. We've won Best Pizza in Northern Kentucky 3 years in a row by Cincy Magazine. We've won a bunch of different little awards, but the best things that we get are all of our blogs that we get based on the family restaurant stuff. We have pictures of people send us on our email about their kids drawing with chalk, and family blogs in Cincinnati saying if you want a family draw, this is where you go. And that's what we like. So what we're going down here, and this one here we're excited about because this is our first, what I was always looking for, like a neighborhood pizzeria. You know, I want Lawrenceburg jerseys hanging in the rooms. I want, you know, that's what we wanted. We want that feel. And as soon as you drive down the street, that's what you get. And I know with all the work, for all the years I've been driving through here, all the work I see happening over here, even if we're at the ground floor of this thing, we're not going to miss out on it. And then that's something we told ourselves. Like I said, we weren't ready to open one. Normally I'll plan for a year or so on this. Uriah came over and mentioned to me everything that was happening over here, and we came over and looked for sites 3 or 4 days in a row, and I said, yeah, we need to make this happen. So, and it's legit now because I ordered my oven the other night. So, so it's being delivered first week of October. So that's happening. We, between the two stores last year, we did a little over 1.4 million gross. Like I said, we employ about 38. A store this size down here, we'll probably hold on to about a staff of 15 or so in that area. You know, we'll have more in the beginning, of course, when we, but we are planning on holding on to a lot of the staff that's down there that wants to stay with us and give us a shot. We started talking to them today. You know, we kind of rough in some areas, but a lot of them were very open-minded and ready to give us a chance. So, yeah, they won't miss a beat. We'll have them working at Hebron for a good month or two before we start this one, and hopefully we're all trained up.
You're saying to take these people and train them.
Yeah, and the good thing is that, you know, in my crazy head that I have, we're going to have them working for a good month and a half, and it'll just be very, very seamless when we come down here because we're going to be busy. I mean, that's what we're known for. You know, it's, like I said, we've been very lucky with the crowd and the response, so it'll be busy. And I'm hoping that we can get a good month and a half, 2 months under their belt so that when we open the doors, it's no different than any other weekend night.
Mr. Strong, do you have a contract? Do you have a lease?
Yes, yes, we agreed on the lease Friday.
You do have a lease?
Yep, we just agreed with it Friday. He's getting it typed up so we can get it
May
signed.
I ask how long that lease is for?
5 years.
The 5-year lease?
Yep. Normally, I don't go past 3 to start, but I feel good about this one. And I'll be honest with you, the thing that scared me the most is my other restaurants. I was scared to death when I do them, and this one I feel really good about. So I don't know, that's making me nervous.
Can I ask you a couple of personal questions about the business? The Snyders are sitting behind you, Linda and Tom, and we came over to dinner Saturday night at your place. And we took, my wife, and we took another friend, and we've been over there twice, okay, in the last 2.5 months, because we remember when you were here looking a couple of months ago.
Right.
And it's very family-oriented business.
Thank you.
Your business, tremendously family-oriented. It reminds me of the La Rosa's crowd. No, it does. And the personal question I have is, they have a liquor license there, and they serve a lot of hard liquor. Are you more of a beer and wine?
Well, my Newport store.
What's your intent, if you don't mind?
This will be a full bar.
Oh,
It'll be a full bar. My Newport store is strictly beer and wine. We don't have a bar in that one.
Okay.
But the name bar will never come before pizzeria. That's never going to happen, because we are a restaurant. The food comes first, you know.
Well, everybody in this room knows what that restaurant looks like.
Right.
Can you share with us your vision for how it's going to be chopped up or
What you're
roasted?
going to get, of course, it's going to be, like I said, the first room you walk in, well, that's these two. They're going to decorate everything in there. You'll get a lot of old school pizzeria look, things like that. A lot of high school, a lot of community involvement.
That's the room with the current bar?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll get a lot of community stuff in there. Your next room, when you go in the dining room, that's where the oven will be. It's going to sit right in the back, just like the Hebron store.
Oh, the oven's going to be in the other room?
The setup I have is virtually identical to the Hebron store. Now, the only difference is that I don't have a wall that I have to cut a hole out of. We'll just build a little counter, we'll create a pizza space. That's where all the pizza is going to come from. Everybody's going to watch it happen.
Can I ask you how you're going to vent that room?
It's going to be direct vented, either out the front or out the side. I'm working with Jim Fritz right now. He's got it drawn up, and he already...
So if you go out the side, you're going to go over the lady that does the upholstery?
No, not that side, the other side.
Oh.
He's wanting to go out the same side that the hood exhaust is out. I had him already talk to the state and everything, because I know it's a little different over here than over there. And he's already cleared everything with them, and...
He has cleared it?
Yep. I talked to him last week. He took the plans and the specs up to them, and...
I mean, that's an old building, and it's 3 stories high.
Yes, yeah, we can't go straight up, and we can't go to the...
Well, I mean, we
right,
always have
so-
concerns about fire issues, and, you know, I mean...
It'll be direct vented. There'll probably be a return air system created inside that dining room, because the return air that's in the kitchen, that'll get cut off if anything occurs in the kitchen. So it'll be a separate system on its own. Other than that, it'll just be a direct vent.
One more quick one, Tony, and the menu that you have when we were there again this weekend, it's a pizzeria. It's a pizza menu with a lot of variation. Just 3 sandwiches, a salad, and some wings and things like that. So is that going to stay pretty much the same formula?
It'll be identical.
So people know what they're getting when they come in there?
We're a pizzeria. The only reason I have wings and tenders out there is because I had a big old kitchen.
And delivery, do you do delivery?
Yes. My Newport store is about 45% delivery.
Can I make a suggestion to you so I don't forget in the
Yes.
future? Neither one of our hotels, the convention center here, the new one, nor the original hotel, have ever had room service.
Oh, we'll be all of them.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I think if you were to, the facility manager there is an excellent guy, and I think if you were to try to negotiate a deal with them to where they could bill it on their portfolio within the system of a hotel, that it may be very rewarding to you because you can allow them to mark it up because people are used to that in hotels. But you could do very well. There's about 750 rooms between the 2 locations.
That's the one thing we, over here is like, but the more I'm talking to people, it's kind of the same idea that happened when Hebron happened. We had a lot of people that lived in Hebron that came to Newport. Well, of course, it's crowded down there, so we said, okay, let's go to Hebron. And now that we're mentioning this, a lot of our customers live over here. So it's, it's like, okay, so let's go over here. And it just gives everybody another option, and all these hotels and everything, we will be all of them. I mean, the best thing, as much as they'll let us in, we'll go in. If I can get menus in the rooms, we'll be in the rooms. Because if you go to Newport and on the river, that's the thing. I will get in those as much as they allow us. And you know.
You got a question?
Yeah, I've got a few questions. This board likes to know how much you have in the building yourself, how much skin you're going to have in the game. You're asking us for $75,000, but I don't see any listings for anything else that you're going to be putting in.
I think I'm going to get this done for just over 90, I think. Now, it's my understanding that if the board does grant us anything, either way, I'm spending the money up front anyway. And I'm going to make that happen.
Have you looked somewhere else in Lawrenceburg to put your pizzeria in
Yeah,
any other building?
We were over here 3 or 4 times. And then this one just kind of stumbled, and I don't want to get in, I'm not big enough to go into some of these other buildings and frame them out and all that. I'm not like that. I'm a little pizzeria guy. You go to Newport, it's in an old house.
Well, do you understand that this building's under a court case and a foreclosure?
Yes.
And that's another question for Dale, for me, is Dale, are we allowed to even grant any money that we're going into a court case with?
We are, and we're way out ahead of this, and just to catch the commission up to speed, this is kind of a council and redevelopment issue, and that's kind of why Chairman Davis excused himself. Obviously, it's public record that we do have a foreclosure action with this building, and to speak in generalities, but with specifics that apply to Strong's, when you have a scenario like this and the person who's currently occupying and owning the building enters into a lease agreement with a prospective tenant, so for 5 years, if the foreclosure goes as is planned and is finalized somewhere around the end of October, then we will end up owning the building in which Strong's has their restaurant. And when we think about making this investment and setting these guys up to be successful for the next 5 years and beyond, and being part of that and investing money into infrastructure, of course we want that to be protected from our end and from Mr. Strong's end. And there's a process in which we'll go through to make sure that this lease agreement is part of the building that we obtain. It's called receivership.
So they don't get hurt, and the city doesn't get hurt.
Exactly. And so it's guaranteed that we'll take all the steps necessary to protect this lease.
So to just transfer over.
Well, kind of, in a roundabout way. There's a process called ratification where the new owner of the building could take on the lease and essentially redo it as soon as a new owner comes into place. But we don't want to do that. We want to provide additional protections. And so through the receivership process, we actually stand in the shoes of the landlord. We make the lease agreement with Mr. Strong as if we were Mr. Davis. And then that way when we take over ownership of the building, it's a fluid transition. There's no additional step necessary.
Am I wrong in asking the last time Mr. Davis has made a payment on this building? Is that allowed to be asked? On this loan?
I don't know. I would tell you if I knew. I mean, obviously, that's why it's being foreclosed.
I have a really big problem paying Mr. Davis rent when he's not paying the city nothing, I know, for over a year. You see, you understand that? The voters would kick me right out of my district with a heavy shoe.
Mr. Abbott, you're exactly right, and the steps that I'm taking in regard to this receivership will ensure that not only does the lease carry over seamlessly, but that we will actually receive those rents.
From day one?
Yes, sir.
Day one.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yes.
That makes it a little better.
I think it takes care of our concerns and Mr. Strong's. I think
that would make me feel better about doing this, and also where there's too many things here where we've had discussions before. Signage, might be $10,000. There's a couple of them here.
These are all
guesstimates.
We
can't deal with guesstimates anymore. We need a strong, hard quote, and that's what we'll give.
Well, you'll have a paid receipt, for everything I buy.
I know, but we can't vote unless, I'm not going to vote to give any money anymore unless I get a solid price.
Tony, I called, he furnished us on this proposal a name with the New York brick oven. I called that name today, and that pizza oven is exactly what he quoted it. 3,500 of it is for the assembly on site that's part of that number.
I don't doubt that.
No, I'm just saying, I checked into that oven.
Actually, I have
then we have,
I checked it out pretty thoroughly.
But then we have a 60-quart mixer, $5,000 to $10,000.
If I can get a used one, I'll get a used one. I'll get it for $5,000.
Well, I don't know what to vote on. I don't know whether to vote on a new one for $5,000 or a new one for $10,000.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get in the building until today.
Right.
Other than one morning I went in at 7:30 in the morning to walk through. So these are numbers that I know based on my history of what I've done. Now, if I can get a hold of a 60-quart Hobart for $5,000 like I did at Hebron, well, of course I'm going to buy it. Because, like I said, I haven't been putting money away to open this restaurant, but I'm going to find a way to do it. And like I said, if I say I'm going to make it happen, it'll happen.
Okay.
And trust me, I'm a bargain shopper. Especially when I'm paying for it, I'm a bargain shopper, and.
Well, from previous times, I can't vote to give any money unless we have a solid price. I mean, that's, if you get $5,000, that's great. You come in with that quote for that
Well, like I
price.
said, that'll be when I start shopping. Like I said, he's still running a restaurant. I can't buy anything until he's out of the way.
Right.
And once he gets out of the way, then I can start buying things. I have my sign guy coming over Thursday. Now, my sign at Hebron cost me $9,000. That's where I got that number, but this is a blade sign, if they approve it. So I have to wait till they approve what he'll do. So, I mean, like, all these hard numbers are ones
I
that...
think there's somebody will help buy the blade sign when they satch. So you may not.
Doesn't Main
We have a
Street-
program for such.
I saw something like that.
The Palmer Group, the
the
city has.
Yeah, I saw where it was like up to
The Palmer
$1,500.
Group will pay half, isn't it?
Yeah, Linda, do they still have that? on their
It's
committee?
in there, something like
Okay,
that.
so there's where you go for that.
So, I mean, that can be pretty much scratched off, at least half of it. I just want a solid price. That's all I want to vote on anymore.
And if I may, I think this obviously goes back to the first two issues that we discussed tonight. I think that, again, with Mr. Strong's proposal, he's given us actual pricing. Mr. Hutchins was able to...
That's definitive on the oven.
And the protections that we've already developed with this administration that weren't in place with the last one were that we wouldn't, so for example, with the oven, we wouldn't pay, or with the mixer, we would approve the 5,000, we wouldn't pay the 5,000. And if he came to us with a receipt for 3,000 because he got to use one, then we'd only pay 3 and the other 2 would go back into the coffers. We can create additional protections. You know, I understand the concerns that you have, and I think that they're very valid, and through this process of making agreements better than we have in the past, we can create those protections. And so whatever the agreement needs to be that I'll have to draw up, then whatever guidance, additional guidance that you can give would be appreciated.
Question, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned on page 1 that you are going to provide us with an 18-month sales forecast. I don't see it. Did you bring us one?
Copy of it, I can make a bunch of them.
This is what you're forecasting for this location.
Hey, Christian, I got a couple things. We're in the menu and the POS business at JTM. We do that. You're probably familiar with us. And that was right on, dead on. What about some of the refrigeration and the equipment already in there? Like they they have a griddle, I guess, or grill?
No, I'll be using, now they have a lot in there, but I won't be using half of it. I'll be using the flat top, the fryers, and the 4-top stove.
Where does the rest of that go?
Well, it's just gonna stay there, because I have nowhere, I can't.
I
get it
Okay.
out there. That's all still is. Now, like when I bought Hebron, I paid $75,000 to get in there and get all that equipment. All that equipment was bad. So my Hebron store, there's nothing left that was there. Now, I haven't had a chance to really look close at all this equipment. This is based on the fact that it's all nice, running, and, you know, no major issues. It's staying in the storage part of these. The only major thing I see is maybe a couple units of storage-wise, but a pizza maker table, that's the main one I'm gonna need, because it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and being around here and being in this industry, I think it's gonna work. I really do. What do you plan on doing for like a soft opening, or what's your idea of getting out the advertising?
No, I mean, just a couple little things here and there. Just throw a couple things.
I love him.
Too much money.
Wire glass, but basically the way it works, the way you work it now.
Exactly.
It's just, and we get.
Mixer.
You know, Hebron was so.
I'm not
busy
too
for the first couple months.
interested in the mixer,
More than
but
we can handle.
this
But
right
for
here,
us, it's
the gas line,
That's my
and that's
We
involved.
agree, we agree.
working for
Now, wait a minute,
And that would go,
I'll-
it's just really simple.
he's asking for
Now, how many,
75.
the other two restaurants, how many does that hold
I
seating?
got it up to
Hebron holds 65.
I wouldn't go in there.
Put you close to 80.
Oh.
Newport is 35 inside. and
But he's-
25 outside.
What do you anticipate here
happening?
with
I'm
your,
looking at
refrigeration.
50 in the dining room.
Let's ask him.
And then
Is it already there?
No, it's only one, I'll bet you $100. It's a new one.
So I'll be cutting out about.
I'm gonna ask him.
But he doesn't know, he ain't been there and looked at.
Oh, he's been in.
okay.
Yeah. We're gonna go out
Christian,
like 3 or 4 foot.
what's your refrigeration?
Yeah.
What's your refrigeration issue for $3,000?
It's gonna be a pizza make table, and I know for a fact I'm probably gonna need one stand-up.
So you're talking about chilling stuff that's in there?
Yeah, your pizza makes table will be on your pizza line. That's where all your ingredients go, all your.
That's
toppings.
assembly.
Uh,
That's the assembly line.
Yes.
I got it.
Like where you came up and said hi to me, that makes,
Yes.
there's nothing over there. That one definite. And
So you're on the back side of that wall
Yes,
there?
exactly.
Okay.
And that'll be sitting right there in that back. And then I, based on what I saw in there, the one time I was in the kitchen, I'm gonna have to get at least one more stand-up unit. Unless I can utilize some of the other stuff that he's got, but he's got.
What are you going to do with all of the kitchen equipment that's in there, the grill and the fryers? Because you're not going to use all that.
Fryers and the flat top and the 4-top stove I'll use.
Okay.
Other than that, after the big, he's got a broiler, he's got everything, that's just gonna stay there. I'm not gonna use it. Everything else I told him we'll box up and put in the basement. Get it gutted out, get some space made.
Okay, I've got a couple more questions. It says rent $1,750. Is that the first month, or is that 3 months, or
That's the first month, that's the first year.
the first year?
That's the monthly rate for the first year.
Oh, okay, so you're going to pay $1,750 a month.
His deposit is $3,500 on October 1st, which his lease, I'm not gonna lie, was a little tougher than anything I've ever dealt with, but, you know. Thank you, man. Over a lot of days. So we negotiated a couple things down on it, and,
All right, so the one thing I'm really big about is all this money goes to the city, and has Mr. Davis agreed with that, or does he know anything about that?
I didn't mention that I wasn't aware of any of this.
Right.
That was directed at Dell.
No, he would not.
So if it doesn't go to the city, then do we stop the whole thing?
No,
'Cause that's-
he doesn't have a choice, is to answer your question.
Oh, he doesn't have a choice.
But when the city takes it over, your rent doubles.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Might be better than lease I was working out with him.
Yeah, he doesn't, we don't get it from him, we get it directly from Mr. Strong through a court order.
Okay, and here's my second part about this. This equipment we're buying, we're putting out a lot of money, $32,000 for a brick oven. How long will we have a guarantee that you're going to be there? Because I don't want to buy a brick oven for you for $32,000 and you say see you in 6 months and take the brick oven with you.
This is what we do. I mean, this is my career.
Well, you have to understand, we've heard this before on other people. We're going to be there for 10 years and they're gone in 7 months.
When I came over here, I was, based on the history I know of everybody that did that over here, I was almost kind of shy about coming in here and asking. The only reason I'm asking is because we're doing this on quick notice. I spent $175,000 on computers of our own money. I brought $30,000 from community venture company with restaurants. I spent $70,000 open even. I opened Newport with $5,000 left in our bank account. This is what we do.
Okay, would you be willing to sign in the contract that if you're not here for 5 years, that the equipment reverts back to the city?
Well, of course.
Well, and a couple of things. One, he's signing a 5-year lease, which is great. I mean, that's longer than.
Well, Tony's
a lot of-
talking about the equipment, though.
Well,
I'm talking about the equipment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the second thing. The equipment will probably be ours anyway, and he'll be leasing it.
Well,
The equipment that's already
the
there.
equipment is in there. Yeah, that's part of the bill. Now,
No, I'm not, that's in the lawsuit. I'm talking about what we're buying right
I
here.
have no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, just so the other board members know, I'm only in favor of looking at the oven and the mixer, and that's pretty much it. The cooling unit also, because it's a prep table. I would be willing to talk to my other, I would agree to those 3 items. Those happen to be your 3 biggest items.
Well, my sign is.
Well, the sign, we have a different committee for that.
Yeah, we have.
You can get that for at least half price. Isn't that right, Satch?
Yeah, we have
Don't they
a
pay half?
specific committee for that.
Up to half?
Up to 1,500.
No, they had a 5,
I think it was 25.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
We got to turn it off.
That's $5.
Christian, I can send you the paperwork
Ready to
for
take
that. I have it.
I read a couple of things the other day on there.
Okay.
well, perhaps we could give them an additional $2,500 on top of that one if it helps him. I mean, he's halfway there then for his sign.
I just.
You know, I want to make a comment like what Tony was saying. I think it's like Trinity, it's like yourself, you've got 2 other stores. If you were just coming in here on a fly-by-night, I think that's a big question. But, like I say, I made some calls at JTM when I got back, and you guys are really, really on the up and up. I mean, you're good. And as far as the equipment, I think if it's anything that we can get our money back, or, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you get him smallwares, you can't sell spoons and forks. But I think on any, like a refrigeration or a pizza table, I don't have a problem with, I know we would get that money back. You know, that's my opinion. You know, stuff that we can physically grab. So, whatever you, I mean,
Will you still be willing to do this venture if you don't get each total amount?
But like I said, I'll make it happen.
It depends on what the total amount is that we
I
approve.
mean, you know, this, what I didn't want to do again is drag myself as low as I did in opening, because that one cost me a lot, and I didn't want to go that low again. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, we got so low that we overdrew our accounts 3 payrolls in a row, because we spent a lot more than budgeted. Well, it wasn't more budgeted, we just, you know, once you get going, everybody wants $5.
Well, I just, you know, I just want to give you a little history. That building's been a lot of businesses. It's been a lot of restaurants. I mean, a lot. Okay, and that's just since I've been here, which is like 18 years, you know, I mean, we're looking for some stability here. I mean, we really are.
says this.
And I know Bob gave you kudos for being a successful businessman, but I look at it that, and I don't know how deep you guys are from a labor standpoint, I'm talking about upper management. Your time is going to be split even more between 3 stores than it is 2. Are you concerned about that? I mean,
Well, I am, but I'm extremely lucky. My GM that runs Newport's been with me 14 years.
Okay.
Delivery manager.
That's big.
14 years.
That's big.
My oldest daughter, who just graduated from Moorhead, runs Hebron. My middle daughter, who just graduated from Moorhead, is going to be working both. Right here.
Well, I understand value, and family is value.
I make pizza, so when you come in, you'll see me behind a pizza line.
I know.
You know, and that's it. Everything else is what they do. Am I worried about it? 6. Yeah, but if I can't be in every store every day, at least 3 more, 5. I would do it. And that's kind of how it works. I mean, you know, and that's what we do. You know, in the summer months during graduation, we have a mobile trailer, which I've already posted. We won't be doing anything.
How are you going to deal with the liquor license issue? Has that been addressed down?
It's supposed to be transferred.
Yeah, I think we can transfer it.
So they're actually going to transfer it to you, so you don't own it? Okay. That's comforting.
Do it.
So,
Yeah, I'll call out Friday morning.
well, we had a situation before that he had rented the building, he had leased the building to another operator, and, you know, he got cited a few times from, you know, the liquor, it's because of what the guy was doing there. So we don't want that to be in jeopardy and you shut down either, you know.
No,
So.
you know, and that, about a month after we started talking this, I started hearing all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I told the girls, I said, look, put our heads down, we're gonna make pizza, because that's what we do. We don't get involved in anything, we just make pizza. And I'm gonna tell you, put it down there, you'll have a crowd. You'll have a big crowd. And you'll have a lot of fans, that'll be the big one. And if I can get the lady next door, move out, I'll open ice cream parlor, because
Well, I can't.
Uh-oh. That's the deal right there.
We already decided to make an ice cream parlor down here, you know, and
Would you still make
Look at
pizza?
me and tell me
Have
what
you guys done any,
I've done a little figuring here.
I've done a little figuring
We've been
too.
figuring
Now,
down here a little bit.
we're
Where you
talking
guys-
about the oven.
$60,750?
How much?
$60,750?
No. You've got the
I figured something
60-quart
wrong there.
mixer figured in, ain't you?
well, the mixer, if you get a home mixer, it don't go in.
I figured like 2, 4.
Yeah, I know.
I got the brick oven,
I
Paul.
would never lose its value.
They last.
Brick
forever.
oven, plumbing, gas lines, that's part of the building, and it's gonna be ours, so I figured, and
And
it's
I don't have,
Everything's gonna be ours, so watch what you spend.
the 60-quart mixer.
the one big cost.
I got
don't
10,000.
Is the vending.
Pizza maker, table, and refrigeration.
That they had to send
All right, you came up with how much?
$60,750. That's with the first month's rent coming back to us.
Would you be willing to take some money from us later, like installments? Like 6 months or a year?
The only one,
Best I can come up with is 40 grand.
Well, I like your 40 grand, but what are you gonna short him on?
Well, I'm looking at the oven,
Got it?
I'm looking at the plumbing and gas line,
Got it.
I'm at the table,
No, you skipped the mixer.
I did skip the mixer, and the refrigeration,
What do you need dough for?
To buy it already pre-made.
All right. Rob, do you sell that?
I know that. I know that.
That's everything I've got except plus the 1 month rent.
why are we getting into the rent business?
What is the
I think we have a
POS system?
choice,
Is
do
it
we?
the one that's there good, or
no, I'm using the same, if I can get.
you're on a
program.
different system?
Yeah, I don't have one to do for, but he runs a tally system, it's a much cheaper program than normal iPads. Very simple, because we do a lot of handwritten stuff.
So your people in the tables use iPads?
No, they use check.
Okay,
But we just use it for tracking.
all right.
Owen, what are you gonna throw in on this? You're not going,
We want some utilities.
I don't want a curveball out of you, bud, later on down the road.
Yeah.
Electrical services there, so unless there's something there that he needs
Yeah.
that doesn't exist, or he needs
One thing
something
I'm
different
gonna
than
do
what's
is
there.
run a 220 line up to the oven.
That would just be electrician,
Paul?
electric station in the building, you just have to.
Christian, give Paul the podium for a second, would you?
It's obvious everybody's pretty excited about this, but I think he needs just a little more time because it's still in Jim Fritz's hands
The vending, yes.
with the vending, and you're gonna have some electrical, you're gonna have some plumbing, and I think, he needs to, I'm afraid that tonight he's gonna sell himself a little bit short here. I think everybody's excited about this, and I think they want to try to work it out somehow, but I think you'd be better off coming back here when you know about the venting, and when you know about your plumbing and your electric and different things like that, to where you can lay it right on the table. for you
Venting's a big
guys.
thing.
Because
The vending is gonna be the big.
It's a big
We may
deal.
have
Paul's
to go
right.
And add a couple things. Now, my other ones I just recommended, which is part of the specs of the oven, but we are gonna stretch it a little further, so, he said we weren't gonna need it every call the other day, but we were having concerns about, providing a different makeup area.
one other big thing here too is this gonna get blowed out of the water? Sure do.
And it's not. And we started thinking about that a long time ago, as soon as,
So the Davises are all right with moving out of that area, whatever money he's making in that restaurant right now ain't gonna happen. And he's gonna let us take that money and make the deal, make the lease under those terms.
well, that's what will happen.
Yeah,
Whether, I don't know if.
without him knowing it, right now, he's dealing with Mr. Davis.
Right.
And he should be dealing with us, but I guess my point is I truly think you guys are gonna have a little bit more money in this. I'm all about restaurants, I wanna see it downtown, I wanna see things happen, but I do believe he needs some harder numbers. He needs to know, because what I don't want happening is you have to come back here with a surprise to these guys, because I just think that they're gonna treat you fair, and I think we're all on. I think we need to have some more solid.
Will he
stuff.
get numbers from Fritz on this,
Once Jim gives him the approved plans that he can do, then he can get his numbers from an HVAC guy, and know what it's gonna cost.
Oh, okay.
Today was the first day we went in and actually talked to the crew.
Well, the venting, though, is so critical for a lot of reasons.
Right.
And that building's integrity has to be protected too, and all the buildings around it have to be protected, so it's gotta be right.
Makeup there is gonna be hard to get into that building, into the kitchen area. there's nowhere to go out except the side, Walnut Street side. I don't think there's anywhere else to
I
go out.
don't mind the hard items, that's going to be put into the building and first, because if something happens, we're going to have them. So I just can't go with the wares and food and stuff like that. I mean, that's the only thing that I've got to.
This is just, because like I said, I threw this together quick.
I understand.
The whole idea of opening, so I need to know, off the top of my head, and, considering I left La Rosa's for 3 years because the group wanted me to open a bunch of smash burgers and do that, and I thought that's what I wanted. And so kind of, I got my numbers down. When it comes down to these numbers, like say smaller and stuff, I'm hoping I can use stuff that he has. I really do. And like I said, today, I still got to find a way to pay for it. Up front. And that right now is what we're working on. The construction part, yeah, that's, I think that vent at Hebron ran me $3,000 if I recall. Now, all we did with that was a direct vent that next straight out the ceiling.
It's a whole different situation.
Right, and here.
You're on the end of a plaza over there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, who knows where we can go, we're talking either going out the front above the awnings or out the side over by the other hoodie exhaust. That, we're gonna have to, all kinds of turn tweaks through there, so, but that's the engineer work.
When do you plan on, when you walked in here today, when do you plan on serving your first pizza?
I got the oven coming the first week. So it'll be delivered. After that, we get our counter built, get our vent put in.
What's your seating gonna be, Christian?
It'll be 50 to 55 in that dining room, and then 20 seats in that bar, and then the 8 bar seats.
Okay. Are you changing the furniture too?
I was hoping not to, but.
Okay, just ask.
So,
Hey, Bob. Just to kind of summarize, maybe, it sounds like, Paul's comments are valid, because there are some unknowns, but I think, if we stopped right now, Mr. Strong could walk out here realizing that we were committed to his, coming to downtown somewhere between, $45,000 and $62,750. And I don't know how to formalize that, but,
That's a little high.
pardon me?
That's a little high.
But I mean, all the solid stuff comes up to 59,000 unless it goes with a used mixer, and then it'll be 54.
I would like to see if we could do an accommodation like Brian's suggesting, where we put the venting issue on the side and you come back as soon as you can.
Okay.
And we'll deal with that and see what we can help you with that.
Okay.
Okay? And let's put the rest of it on the table that we think we can do up to a number and move forward.
I don't see the venting on this list.
It's at the bottom because, that's,
Yeah, there's,
for construction for the hood vent, because I just found out about the different regulations over here a couple weeks ago. And we got on that, right, actually that afternoon, I was talking.
I'm at 45.
I'm basically right there.
So we need to make a commitment on a dollar figure right now.
Well, we're willing to go 45,000 at this point,
Okay, at this point.
not counting the ventilation issues that come up.
okay.
Well, could we do me a favor and
We're going to pick list by list.
Tony,
Name off everything that you want
Tony
to
may
approve.
not do you a
I'm
favor.
going to say, right
You
now,
do
let's
the
pick
vote.
list by, everything on the list that you want to get.
Name them off for me and I'll write them
Are
down.
we kind
I
of agreed on the number, though?
Well, that could be
Let's
the
go by your
motion.
list.
All right, okay, fair enough.
So if Tony could do the motion, then he could just name everything off and.
Well, first I want to hear what they're paying for.
Okay.
What's our number?
well, we're up to 45.
Okay, I'll give you my list. Brick oven, 32,000. Plumbing gas line,
It's 31,950.
Just keep it at 32.
Just saying.
We'll give you 30, you get a couple free pizzas, okay?
wait a minute while
You're not helping here.
wait a minute while I scratch this one off.
Do you remember the earlier part of this meeting?
That cost
We're
you
getting there
about,
again.
that cost you about 5,000. Brick oven, 32,000. Plumbing gas line, 2,500. 60-quart mixer. I'm going with the new one, 10,000. And hopefully you can find a used one. Pizza make table, 1,500. Refrigeration, 3,000. That's my list. That should come up to 59.
Okay.
That's my school teacher did something wrong.
Do restaurants still lease equipment, Christian, or they've stopped doing that? Restaurant companies?
Not really your smaller items.
A mixer?
Is that 59?
No.
Did I add wrong?
You can lease, like say the ovens, you can lease.
54, 55.
Well, I wasn't talking about that.
59.
Mixers, no, I mean,
I
so
agree
far,
with you.
so hard
I
to
agree
do
with
it
you.
anyway. Like I was at my.
What are they
Mama and Don's
skipping?
today to see if he had any,
Oh,
he said he hadn't touched
no
it.
refrigeration.
All right.
But I'll find.
Pizza
I know it, I'm contact.
Well, we're trying to get you there.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, I'll find one.
What are you skipping there, Paul?
I guess my math's bad, I guess.
Is that it?
Take the son over here. He saw the arithmetic down.
Your dad didn't help you with math homework?
It took me a while to graduate, fellas, because Dad was there and I couldn't pass him.
It's arithmetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have on, just so I'm clear, we have on the table brick oven at 32, plumbing and gas line 2,500, 60-quart mixer at 10, pizza table at 1,500, refrigeration at 3,000. Is that it?
That's what
all
Tony had.
That's all the hard
pretty much it.
stuff that we can take back if we,
Pretty much it.
That's the hard
And
stuff.
then he can come back later if there are additional costs for the vent system and things like that.
I didn't have the mixer. I didn't have the
49?
mixer.
So $50,000. It's 49 and change. 50,000.
That's what you come up with.
yeah, we got 59.
I'm trusting Joe on that one.
Three of us got 59 here.
I don't know how you guys got that high.
We're at $50,000.
In the
But you're agreeing to buy the same stuff we want to get. We got two different prices.
He's not going to pay, he's going to get a better deal on the mixer.
Oh, okay, so.
Well, that's a high, I mean.
Yeah, okay, we're
top end on it.
Yeah, we're on the top end. I learned to go to the top end.
In the vote, to be just to be clear, would be to use these items from his list, and they've been verified independently, some of these by Dennis, even calling,
Well, the oven, yeah.
in the ovens, but these numbers would be max numbers, we would keep the money. He'd have to, Mr. Strong would present us with receipts.
Right.
And
It
then
doesn't have
they'd
to be a
paid.
receipt or just an invoice, this is what's gonna cost.
No. We want receipts with serial codes, because these are big ticket items, like the oven.
Yeah.
The mixer. I mean, we're going to own them. We want her to put away the receipt.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's also committed to try to find cheaper items or used items if possible.
Right.
Now, here's my question to you, Mr. Strong. Are you gonna be able to make pizza and get 59,000 instead of 72? Is this good for you?
It's a huge help, and I'll make it happen. Like I said, I
All
gotta
right.
get it open, so it's gotta come out of my account somewhere. It's in the account, no, but I'll make it happen. I mean, even if I have to do some of this later, like, you know, the awnings and things like that.
Well, Christian, we're not turning our back on you, as
No, I know
Paul
that.
brought up
No, I'm
on the
saying-
ventilation system.
What I'm saying is just if I,
You know, this number's not gonna be what we're gonna approve here because we've got the ventilation.
right, no, we will definitely get this.
This is a number you can leave here, you know what's
I
coming.
feel good. And like I said, mid-October, we'll get it going.
But as you can see, we do have
What is ever
memory
going- What's the
issues
number?
on this council, so.
I don't know. I don't know for sure, Kelly.
So what is the number?
Hold on, Owen's got it. Uh-oh.
Okay,
It's $50,000.
okay.
Close your eyes and write something down.
No way.
Hold
50, if that's
Mr.
what-
Seymour's question about utilities, if I can set up a time to go to the building.
Can't hear you, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Seymour's question about utilities,
Uh-huh.
if I could make a time to meet with this gentleman and look at the building and see what it is he's going to
Great idea.
be able to answer those questions for him.
Good idea.
Do you have any, you can find out if there's an outstanding utility bill that's not gonna hit him in the face? That's my question.
I appreciate that.
I like that one.
Everything else about that building is
Checking right
outstanding,
now,
believe
Paul.
me.
Paul, he's checking right now.
Paul's our backup attorney.
He's going to give you an answer right now.
He watched LA Law for 20 years.
Yeah, he did.
We're almost done. Go ahead.
Is the pizza table 1,500?
Yeah, we're done.
I got 49.
It's 49,000.
I got 49 even, yeah.
49.
49,000.
How many Lawrenceburgers does it take to add up? You're right.
Ventilation.
Hey, that's, if you don't sell JTM hoagies, this is a problem.
I'm gonna get that.
I'll veto it.
That's the best hoagie.
Did you have a motion yet?
Bob, you wanna just say? But we've, that's the motion and 49's the number.
There is, see?
It's 49,000.
That's 49.
All right.
I'll make the motion to grant up to $49,000 for the hard equipment,
And I'll list that.
and Kelly will list that.
And additionally on that motion, Tony,
Okay.
Tony, can we add that he has the right to come back and approach us on the ventilation, please?
And he will come back at a later date on ventilation.
Fine. I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
What about the utilities?
Who's gonna be responsible?
I did. Mr. Chairman, you have a second.
All in favor?
But it's
All right.
just one.
He said-
What?
You have to say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye. All opposed?
It's
Any opposed?
It's
Say
a
it.
really
Yeah, say
good
it.
deal for
Motion
the
carries.
city,
Any opposed?
but that scares me.
Motion carries.
Look at that. You're awesome. I say.
I sell hoagies for a living.
Tell him now not to come back.
Hey,
We're in the same
Owen, will you
business.
let Mr. Davis know he can come back in?
And Joe just asked a question too on the utility.
Hey, Owen?
Wait.
Oh, wait a minute, we're not near done yet.
You run it out?
What's the utility issue?
Oh, wait, no.
There's money out on the account, but it's not like July 15th.
Okay.
Let me ask a couple questions, Chairman. We gonna bring up Mr. Snyder tonight?
No.
Goodness. A1 Auto Body, you gonna bring
Mel, we
that up?
need you back in here.
Oh, well, get Mel back in here. Yeah. I just got a response today.
Okay. Oh, you're off the hook now,
Well,
buddy.
he
Mel, hold up.
wants it at the end.
I don't know all that saying crap you guys do, you know?
Mel, the holdup was the math.
Exactly.
I thought it was arithmetic.
That's arithmetic.
Old business, David Snyder.
Table that, and we'll, was actually looking at, there's some municipally owned properties along that same road that aren't owned by redevelopment, and I think there was some miscommunication along the way, and I think we just, that particular plan has to include the investigation of those properties and determining if we want to move forward at all. And there's still a pending issue of potential levy that Mr. Abbott spoke of last meeting, so, but anyway, it's tabled, long story
Okay.
short.
Brian Messmore, A1 Auto Body.
Today, I did step back. You authorized me to make the initial offering to A1 Auto Body, for the average of two appraisals, which was $285,500.
Or what?
A1 property, A1 Auto Body property.
And what do we get?
The response was a counter offer of $375,000.
You can have it.
I wouldn't give 50,000 for it if we can't use it.
So what we're left with is we can just, since a counter was made, our original offer was essentially null and void as I understand it. We can just say, we're done.
Done with it.
If there's enough interest from the board to proceed, I would recommend that we would have to ask the property owner to do an additional independent appraisal to see if there's any reason for a difference in price. But that's my recommendation.
Okay, I got one question. Did you find out for sure by law that if somebody else buys that property, then there's no more access to it? It's only grandfathered in for the
I don't know
shop?
that. I don't know that, Tony.
Okay. Because if we don't have an access to it, the property's worthless as far as I'm concerned.
Well, right, and if you remember, the only reason we were interested was to provide a gateway, signage and opening to introduce, people off, try to, get people off 50 down Walnut Street. So it really was not about use as much as it was location,
So
so.
he's not able to sell it to nobody else if nobody else can put an access on it. That's why I'd say the property value should go way down unless you have another.
Unless Kristen wants to buy it and put a sign there.
You want a pizza shop?
You have to walk to it, though. I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I think we should, cease from talking about nobody else can buy it, so we can do this. If we're not interested, let's just say officially we're not interested.
I'm not interested at that price, no.
I'll need a motion so that Mr. Messmore can
Do nothing.
do one way or the other.
I make a motion to basically walk away from it.
That's good enough for me. Second.
Have a motion, I need a second.
Tony just seconded.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion passed. Thank you. Any other old business, Brian?
No.
Okay.
I had a couple, but I forgot what they were now.
Approval of claims once properly certified.
So moved.
Anybody second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Comments from the audience? You'll have to come up to the podium.
Out to the podium. And don't bring any pets with you. To the pizzeria.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I've had so much fun tonight, fellas. We're going to stay here a while.
I like to make a motion.
I second.
I like to make a motion to buy everybody 3 beers.
Exactly.
All right, no, that's Legion meeting.
Put this video on home.
Strike that from the
Funniest home
minutes.
videos and we'll win. Joe, forget everything when you walk out of here, all right?
Did we get a second to adjourn?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Congratulations, I think, back there.
Hey, thank you, I appreciate it.
Joe, you didn't have enough paper, did you? Did you have enough paper for tonight?
Boy, Kelly, you didn't keep us in control very much.
You should go over there and try it.
That was good.
It's right on the Hebron exit, second plaza on the
What
right.
I said.
Oh, you have? Okay. Did you like it?
They have to go downtown to get their money. I don't know how the board feels. If you come back, say that, you just don't have anything suitable, then it's up to us to make the decision. And I don't, personally, I don't think you'll have a problem with that. I believe they'll help you. I don't think you're asking for, an arm and a leg. And I know what you get over there, you get an empty building.
I know.
The only thing that I don't,
All homemade dough, bread, everything. Go there. It's right on Montgomery Road.
well, you've listed,
Just take the long way around it for whatever it is by the casino.
that,
Get off that exit, the next exit's Montgomery.
the bathtub, is that the animal bathtub? But is it a regular tub?
But it's not Montgomery by the couch. You won't be sorry.
Yeah.
You'll be thanking me. And he's got pretty good pasta and other dishes. Yeah, it's an Italian.
So you're not on your hands and knees, unfortunately, no? Do you tranquilize them?
Right across the street.
How about a wild cat? Can you cut their claws or cut their
Can't
head?
go wrong.
We got.
I'll try to find something.
I gotta give one.
Hey, guys.
And look,
That's right. Thanks. Well, thank you.
Amazing. So we need a big warehouse down there.
Hey, Brian, you know how to turn that off?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I
I don't know what they've got downtown to offer. I don't know. Well, tell them that. I mean, you're not in a business that's gonna make $1 million for you.
You know what, before you go, I got some.
You got any tears left? No, I'm not gonna say no to your.
Okay, I got a call. I'll give it.
Mine, but I'm just, and I just wanted to make sure those guys knew it.
Yes, right.
We could run into a little bit of a backlash. They said yes to you, and we'd afford it.
Oh, boy. You running upstairs? Yeah, Brian. Okay, me too. I forgot my keys.
Kelly, good job.
Thanks, I tried
Wiggle
to.
and sneak
Have a
you
good
in.
night.
See you guys.
I wouldn't be too afraid to come back. All right, Dennis.
I'll look around.
I know it's expensive.
It is, it's like.
What's he charge over there? Oh, my God, and they're asking 15.
Yes, they are. I was gonna make that announcement, but you guys had so many announcements, I just decided to go after.
No, you.
I'm just, you're gonna be watching the
Come
video
back.
for days. I had really good.
Really?
Oh, you did have You did have
This was a great practice.
Well, it was
wonderful.
funny because Paul asked for a second, we had one, and Tom asked for a motion,
What?
we didn't have one.
We had a motion that died.
I didn't say that. I let them guys do all that.
I do. Okay, I got that one. I'm like.
I do too, and that's where I went, I was out there. What's this work? Whatever he's gotta have to get it done. But
That's turned off, right?